Lewis Hamilton, 7 times Formula One champion, once said when he met Nelson Mandela at the age of 82, he asked Mandela to give him one advice. Mandela said, "Never stop learning." I cannot believe that I've lived in the United Kingdom for 21 years. It feels like yesterday when I came to this country. One thing you'll soon realize is that when you live in this country, time flies. Before you know it, time flies because of the fast pace of life. I thank God. In this video, I'm going to share with you 11 lifelong lessons that I've learned. If someone had told me these lessons when I first arrived here, I would have gone further than where I am today. I'm grateful to God for everything, but I don't want you to make some of the mistakes that we make, hence why I want to share them with you. Lesson number 1. The neck doesn't carry load when it cannot carry itself. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the first thing you should focus on when you first arrive in the Western world is yourself. Focus on your residence. Before you start trying to pull everybody from your home country, make sure you sort yourself out. You've got security, you've got stability before you start carrying on more. I'm not saying you shouldn't help, but I'm saying make sure you get yourself sorted before you try to pull others. I've seen people that came to the Western world and they were deported, and their family members first embraced them the first few days, and after the first few days, they started laughing at them and calling them all sorts of names. You don't want to be that kind of person. So secure yourself first before you try to pull others. Lesson number 2. Let 90% of your investment be where you live. What do I mean by that? 20 years ago, when most of us made this mistake of building big houses in our home countries, and I know people that took loans from the bank to build homes in their home countries. At the end of the day, they do not get any pounds return on these houses. Anyone that lives in Newcastle will recognize what I'm about to say. At that time, I was living in Newcastle. There's a place in Newcastle called Benwell. At that time, they were selling houses in Benwell for less than £5,000. The Pakistanis and Indian brothers and sisters that went there to buy houses, they took advantage of the cheap houses, the bought houses. Today, I understand the houses in this place is now being sold for less than 185 to 180,000 pounds. Now, the house that some of us built in our home country then, if we sell it today and we got back 20% of the return, we will be lucky. At that time, pounds to naira, for instance, was less than 100 to 1. Today, it's almost 1,500. The same applies to Zimbabwe dollars, Ghanaian, and a lot of the developing countries. One thing you will realize is that government in the developing country, they easily devalue their currency because of the lack of strong institution to hold them accountable. They can do whatever they like. So make sure you invest 90% of your investment where you live. If you sleep tonight and you didn't wake up, your siblings back home, your extended families, they will not allow your children to come and take the things that you've labored for throughout your life. And your children may not even want to go back and fight with anyone. So that is why you should invest where you live. 90%. I'm not saying don't invest. I'm saying let 90% of your investment be where you are, because nobody knows tomorrow. That is lesson number 3. Lesson number 4. Information and the company you keep will determine how far you will go. What I mean by that is make sure you do not have closed mind to restrict your circle of friends to people from your community, people from your country, because something might be happening that the Ugandan, the Brazilian, the British, the Scottish, the Jamaicans know of. which your community is not aware of. By having friends beyond your community, you'll be able to hear what is happening, and it could be information that will transform your life. So network and don't limit yourself to just your community. Lesson number 5, before you do anything, such as you want to buy a new car, you want to get a mortgage, you want to go to school, you want to do anything, speak to someone that have already passed that journey. Speak to someone that have already done that thing. If you do that, the risk of you making mistake is very, very slim. The risk of you, the chances of success is very high, because you've learned from that person's success and failures to minimize the risk of you making mistake. Don't let pride or ego prevent you from speaking to people that have already achieved that thing. That is lesson number 5. Lesson number 6, credit card. Credit card is very good if you know how to use it and pay it on time. Credit card is one of the ways that you can use to accelerate your progress and development. But if you do not know how to use credit card well, credit card is modern day slavery. What I mean by that is that if you put yourself in debt to the point where you will have to do the things you don't want to do because you are in debt, you will end up going to do the work you don't want to do because you're in so much in debt. At the end of the day, you will be servicing the lifestyle of the shareholders of Capital One, Vanquish, Barclays, American Express. They'll be using your money to drink champagne at the end of the year, whilst you will remain miserable. So make sure you use your credit card well, okay? Lesson number 7, invest in your health. Your health is your greatest asset. Most of us from Black and Asian community are genetically predisposed to certain diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart attack, stroke, and high blood pressures. These diseases can be reduced by controlling what you put in your mouth and how you drink. So therefore, it is absolutely important that you do not abuse yourself with alcohol and drink. In the Western world, food is very, very cheap. Food is very, very cheap. If you do not control yourself, you get to the point where you will not want to wake up in the morning, because to get up in the morning is a problem because you're overweight. It will affect your productivity. It will affect your mental health, your emotional well-being. It will affect your confidence, your self-esteem. So make sure you invest in your health. It's not a bad thing to go for a walk. It's not a bad thing to go to the gym. It's not a bad thing to maintain an active life. It will affect your sexual drive and urge as well. So please invest in your health and do not abuse yourself with alcohol and drink. Very, very important. Lesson number 8. Do not live above your means. What I mean by that, you see some people out of envy and jealousy trying to fill their insecurity, you go and buy a car that you know that this car, with your wage and your lifestyle, with what you earn, you're going to struggle. You go and buy a 5-bedroom house that you know you don't need, simply because you want to feed your insecurity. At the end of the day, every money you have, even when you don't want to work, when you don't want to do anything, but by the time you remember how much direct debit you're going to pay at the end of the month, you have to do something. You're trapped. You're trapped. You're miserable because you have beaten beyond what you can chew, because you want to please other people. You want to tell people that you belong. So live within your means, control your envy and jealousy, be content with what you have is very, very important. Lesson number 9. Do the right thing at the right time. We have a saying here that anything that comes out in the morning before afternoon, it has gone. Do not procrastinate. Do not put it back. If you want to do something, do it. If you want to go to school, go to school. Before you go to school, education and investment in your skill acquisition are very, very important. They will accelerate your progress. They will accelerate your development. So it is very, very important. Before you go to school, speak to someone that's already done that course. Speak to someone that's already done that training. Ask them, since you've done that training, what is the benefit? Where has it taken you to now? To learn from their outcome so that you don't make the same mistake. Don't just go to school and say, I want to go and read English literature because I want to have a degree. At the end of the day, you come back, you've got debt of 27,000, you're still working in Marks and Spencer or Tesco or whatever. Nothing wrong with working in Marks and Spencer or Tesco. At the end of the day, it's a job. But the point I'm saying is that what is the point? Going to school to acquire 27,000 pounds debt and end up in Marks and Spencer. You might as well just stay in Marks and Spencer and not have the debt. So it's the debt that I'm talking about. Debt is not a bad thing if you can use it to maximize your progress. So make sure you speak to someone that have already done that. And as I said before, get career advice from them. Don't let pride or ego deprive you from getting advice that will transform your life. Okay, so the next thing I want to say to you is that the Western world is full of opportunities. Do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. If you have insecurity, you think you're not good enough, go to the bottom of that insecurity. Work on your insecurity. In 2002, Barack Obama contested for the House of Congress, the House of Rep in America. He was annihilated. He was destroyed. He lost woefully. But it was somebody who told him, you need to work on your public speaking speech. By working on that, by changing his weaknesses to his strength, Obama was able to win the bigger prize and become the president of the United States of America. From losing election in the year 2000, it was destroyed in the House of Rep, and this man became the president of the United States by working on his public speaking. Today, Obama is regarded as one of the best orator. We all have things in our life that we need to work on. If Obama had not worked on that weaknesses, he would not have become the president of the United States. Work on your weaknesses. Do not doubt yourself and stick to one security job or one care job. Nothing wrong with care job, but this is a land of opportunity. The NHS budget is more than $165 billion. You are living in the 6th largest economy in the world. Why do you need to restrict yourself? The people that are doing it, they have one head like you. If they can do it, you can do it. So you need to believe in yourself. Okay, do not limit yourself at all. Lesson number 10. Do not destroy your credit. If you have bad credit, it's going to affect all aspects of your life. You will not be able to get a house. You will not be able to rent. Even renting, you're going to struggle to rent. If you have bad credit, if you manage to get a mortgage, it's going to affect the amount you're going to be paying every month. It's going to be affect the amount of money you're going to be paying on your car insurance, on everything. Please do not destroy your credit. I know people that when we first came, they went to take mobile phone, laptop. Some of them took TV from Carphone warehouse back in the days, but they were doing this where you get a TV with a mobile phone. And they didn't pay. But these guys today now, they are trapped. Some of them have money to buy houses, but they can't buy houses because they've destroyed their credit. do not destroy your credit. Lesson number 11. Before you decide to go to your home country and bring a husband or wife, think twice. 90% of the people that have done that thing, it didn't end well. That doesn't mean yours is not going to end well, but I'm just saying think twice. Okay? Think twice. Bonus point. I have seen a lot of Africans, especially the ones that have just moved here recently, their children end up in the care of local authorities. Please, please, the behaviors that you have back when you chastise your children, you shout in public, when you're talking to public authority, you're raising your voice, back home. That's okay, because that's our culture, that's how we express ourselves. But in this society, it is perceived as aggression. You are perceived as an aggressive person, even though you haven't raised your hand, just because of the way you raise your voice. When you're speaking to somebody that is not from your community, be mindful of your tone. Your tone is very, very important. You don't want to have the label of a violent person put on your head because you are not, because of the way you raise your voice. Okay? Another thing I want to advise you is drink driving. Please, if you manage to get your driving license, do not drink and drive, because it could cause a major setback to you. I hope you have found value for this video, and I hope this video, one or two of the advices will help you. Consider subscribing to Launch Club Media. We want to help as many people as possible, whether it be migration update, information on financial literacy. We want our people to progress. Thank you so much for watching to the end. May God bless you. Thank you.